Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another Kamihime project video, but this one's going to be a little bit different. This is just a side video I wanted to do, and it's going to pretty much have my top 10 favorite characters, but it's between 3 different lists. And this is in my opinion. It has nothing to do with how their skills are, and while personality is a factor in it, most of it comes from looks. So that's the main thing about this. And this is, of course, in my opinion. So if anybody has anything different they want to say about everything, then just put it in the comments. But anyways, how I'm going to do this, I'm going to go from 10 to 1, starting off with the souls, then going into the Eidolons, then going into the Kamihime. And there are 2 ground rules I am going to lay down about this. First off, only 1 version per character. So if they have multiple versions, I will put that into consideration, but I'm mainly picking 1 version. Second rule, I cannot, and I repeat, cannot use any characters that I did not pull on this account. Reason being for this rule is because I've pulled so much stuff that it's ridiculous. So if I can pull them up from the library, that means that I can evaluate them for this. So that's something to know, because a big major factor, like I said, was between looks and personality, and that's very hard to judge when you don't actually have the character. But other than that, anything goes. So we're going to start this off with the souls. So, number 10 for my top 10 soul picks is actually Lancelot. Now, reason being is because of the fact that, sure, she may be the first one that you start off with, but she's actually got quite a cute appearance, and then on top of that too, her personality is actually pretty good. I mean, she does have the chivalrous personality, but also has a bit of a sweet side to her, so that's actually something I really like. And you'll notice that there's actually quite a few characters that's on this list that have that sweet side personality too. That's kind of my favorite thing. But basically, she's the first one you get, and she's the first one you'll see with that type of personality. Not including any Kamihime or Eidolons you may have gotten from the start. So she's guaranteed to pretty much be one of the first ones you see. So that's something I like about her. Alright, so number 9 happens to be Gilgamesh, and she still does have like a nice personality, but her appearance definitely does stand out more than Lancelot. And then on top of that too, she's got a bit of a flirtatious side to her, and I actually do like that. So that's a good standing point for her case. And honestly, I kind of did wish they had more with her, but yeah, take what you can get. And then on top of that too, she's also pretty interesting as a character because of the fact that it's like a mix of wild but restrained, if that makes sense. So that said, I do like how she is as a character as well as her appearance, and her appearance definitely has something very good to show, as you can see. Okay, number 8 for my souls list happens to be Solomon, and in her case, given her personality, she does seem a little bit on the haughty side, like it's kind of like the stuck-up type of personality, but it's not like overbearing. Better way to say it is that she has a bit of an ego, but honestly, she does have the appearance to back it up, and I do think she is pretty hot. Now, given her personality and her appearance, she would have been higher if she had a better personality, but I still like her how she is a lot more than a lot of other characters. And honestly, her scene really isn't too bad. It's just, if you're not into a little bit of sadism, then you're not gonna like it. So hopefully you are at least a bit masochistic or just don't mind it. In my case, I'm not masochistic, but I also don't mind it. So number 7 would happen to be Andromeda, and that's mainly because of not just her appearance, because it is pretty attractive, but it's also quite unique, and then combined with her personality as well. She's also got that nice type of personality. It's a little bit more on the nurturing side though, but given all three of those things about her, it's honestly a very, very good combination, and I really did like her scene. In fact, the only thing that's holding her back is that while her design is indeed unique, I kind of did wish it showed a little bit more about her, assets. But hey, that's just me. I mean, I do a lot of different videos on lewd type of games. You should expect that from me. So I won't be afraid to say that type of comment. Number 6 on the list happens to be Hercules, and in her case, you gotta admit she's also very, very easy on the eyes, especially given how her body shape is. And on top of that, she also happens to be one of the more athletic type characters, which also scores a little bit of points. And her personality is more like it's more heroic type, kind of like how Lancelot was, but again, not a case of overbearing. And quite frankly, I really enjoyed her scene. I really did. So that said, she scored pretty high on here, but she's still not in the upper half of the top 10, unfortunately, because I just so happen to like the others a lot more. Now, at the bottom of the top 5 happens to be Kaspar, and honestly, I really do like her personality a lot. It's a bit of a wild gambler type of personality, but it does seem like a pretty fun one. Then on top of that too, she's kind of got the thief appearance, and honestly, I do like that. I mean, when I play role-playing game classes, I usually take either the mage or the thief character. So, yeah, that's something that really stands out for me, and can't deny it does look pretty good. Now, as for the personality, like I said, it's a little bit wild, a little bit energetic, but it also seems pretty fun. I mean, who doesn't like to have fun, basically? That's all I really need to say. Number 4 on the list happens to be Romulus, and just gonna say it right now, I do have a little bit of a thing for redheads. I mean, it's kind of shifted away from redheads recently, where there's blondes and there's brunettes and so on, but she's kind of like the tomboyish type, and I do like that. And if anybody doesn't really know about the tomboyish types, they usually have quite a very good feminine side when you actually let it show, and that's the whole impact of it. It's something you don't see often, so you enjoy it more, if you can understand that type of psychology. Also, for bonus points too, she does look very good, actually. In fact, probably one of my more favorite designs when it comes to the tank class characters. In third, and pretty much the bottom of my top 3 for souls, is Yurimitsu. Now, the thing that really draws me for her, granted, her appearance isn't showing that much skin, but it does show a very nice shape of her. Her personality is also pretty good too. It's a bit on the nurturing side too, but in her case, it's better to say that she's kind of like putting out MILF energy, if that makes any sense, and that's kind of why I like her a lot for that. Because, let's face it, there's a reason why they are indeed called MILFs, even though she probably didn't have any kids. I doubt anybody's had kids in this game. But, quite frankly, it's just that appearance and that personality combined that really score some high points with me. Just barely losing out on the top spot for souls happens to be Merlin. Now, I really, really like her. Her appearance, she's already scoring points just for the Twin Tails, but it does have a pretty good mix of both the cute and attractive type of mage character, and I do indeed like her personality as well. And honestly, if I was to really say anything about this, it's that those of you that have noticed my IGN for this game and previous ones is literally been called Magic Spice, because it's like magic but with a touch. And she definitely seems like the type of mage character that would bring that, at least at first glance anyways. So enjoying that, I do indeed like how she looks. It's not on like magical girl level, but it is definitely quite attractive, and it's really scoring a lot of points. And believe it or not, taking the top spot of my most favorite soul is Madea. Now, here's the whole thing about this. Yes, she is a yandere, but it's not like overly intense compared to plenty of other yanderes that's been in media. And then on top of that too, she is still incredibly cute, incredibly devoted. Getting past the yandere side, I really do like her personality. And I also like the monster girl look for her too. And also, recently I've been having a thing for pink hair. So, yeah, that's been growing on me. Not to mention, something else that stands out about her that most other characters don't have is actually how her eyes look compared in contrast with her hair. It actually goes quite well together. Definitely not one of the more showy souls, but she does indeed have a very good appearance in my opinion, and she easily takes the top spot. Honestly, if it wasn't for other characters, she probably would have been my most favorite in the game. Now then, on the next list, we are starting off with Almostea for 10th in the Eidolons, and it may not come to a surprise to you guys, but I do like a lot of the animal girls. At least when it comes to the ears and the tail, it's not full-blown furry that I like. It's Kimono Mimi, basically, which is steps way before furry. But in the case of Almostea, happens to be the goat girl, and she's really cute. And then on top of that, also has a pretty nice body on top of it. So I really do enjoy that about her, and she honestly is a bit of a sweetheart. You have to admit that one. So with all of that, it's actually scoring quite a lot of points for me, and she's my 10th most favorite. Number 9 on the list happens to be Tiamat. And if you remember what I've said about Yurimitsu, well, Tiamat seems to pretty much give out that energy more. She seems to give out that MILF energy, and you have to admit her appearance is still quite incredible. That body is definitely quite amazing. And honestly, she does have a bit of a motherly type of personality about her, because she, as it even says in her description, she's raised somebody like they're her own child, even though they really weren't. That scores a lot of points, because honestly, if you want a good wife, you want a woman like that anyways. And giving her appearance on top of it, yeah, that's an incredible combo. 8th on my most favorite Eidolons list happens to be Kyouki, and her personality is a bit mixed. It's got like a bit of confidence, and honestly, she was playing a little bit of a villain at first, but she did have a heel face turn. But what really, really makes up for that is definitely her appearance. I do like her appearance a lot, and I find it to be incredibly hot. That's just my taste on things. So yeah, that's scoring quite a lot of points. Especially considering the fact that we don't have too many characters that wear a Chinese dress, and I enjoy that quite a lot. So that's honestly just one of my better picks, because Appearance-wise, definitely. Next on the Idol list at number 7 happens to be Och. Now, there's a few different versions of her I had to consider, but this is definitely the one I like the most. She's definitely gotten a lot more of that drive, and that scores quite a lot of points, but she still maintains that cuteness side. And honestly, her backstory, though tragic, the fact that she tries so hard to overcome it is actually quite endearing, and that really scores a lot of points. You definitely want to grow with that type of drive, at least in my opinion. So that scored a lot of points, even though, if you want to be honest, in the looks department, she would lose out to other characters. But like I said, personality and looks are combined for this, so that really drives a point home for that. Now, for number 6 on the favorite Idolins list happens to be Fluoretti, and I really do like her appearance. It's got quite a bit of class and elegance, which actually scores quite a lot of points if the personality is very good, which she happens to have. Definitely a type of Ojo that I really wouldn't mind, and given her appearance, it's also helping a lot because she honestly does have quite a body on her as well, and on top of that, a very good personality with the Ojo factor going in there. An Ojo who is not stuck up and not selfish, that's definitely one you would want. And it scores quite a lot of points for me on that one. So, easy to see why I rated her pretty high. It's just that I like the next 5 a lot more than her. Now then, starting off the top 5 Idolins, in the 5th slot happens to be Fafnir. Her personality is honestly quite bad. She still massively makes up for it with her appearance. I really, really like her appearance. You can already see why. She is incredibly thick. Enough said. But to add on to it as well, she's one of the few characters that has that odd eye type of thing. It's called heterochromia, and weirdly enough, it actually works for quite a few characters, and she's one of them. Honestly, if her personality was better, I would have rated her easily near or at the top of this list. It's just the one thing that's holding her back. But appearance-wise, holy crap does she have it. Now, taking the 4th slot for favorite Idolins happens to be Artron. Now, I've said for a few characters before that they had the MILF energy. I think Artron lives off of it, especially given her personality, especially how she acts. And then she does play a big sister role to the rest of the Guardian Idolins, so yeah, that's all adding a lot of points. She is, at least in my opinion, quite an amazing woman. And that really, really just adds points, especially since she gives an amazing show with her appearance. You can't deny that. And again, like I said, I've done so many loot games on this channel. It's expected of me to actually score quite a lot of points for that type of stuff. Cuteness still wins too, but oh man, does she have the appeal. Now then, number 3 on the list happens to be Anubis. And in her case, personality is a bit hit and miss, but remember the Ojo thing I've mentioned with Fluoretti? Yeah, she kind of has that too. Because as far as I know, she does indeed take care of her attendants. And she's incredibly hot in my opinion as well. Not to mention, she would fall more under the dog girl type of animal girl, if anything, and I really score that quite high. That gives so many points for her, and honestly, I was glad that I pulled her. I'm not even kidding, I was glad that I pulled her because I was looking forward to her scene. Number 2 for the most favorite add-ons is actually quite a surprise, but it happens to be Diablos. And that is because she combines so much about a lot of the previous characters that I've mentioned. Cuteness factor, there. Very good Ojo, there. A lot of determination and drive to get things done, there. Takes care of her friends and those she cares about, there. She scores a lot of points, and honestly, even though she does not play into the sex appeal, except for maybe a few scenes, she's still quite incredible if you really look under the surface. So, easily my second spot. Easily my second spot. And quite frankly, she's even rated high among at least favorite characters in general. So that's something that really should be noted right there. Number 1 most favorite add-on on this list, some of you might have seen coming, Monogamer. Now, there are 2 type of animal girls I really like more than any other. Fox girls and wolf girls. And among a lot of the wolf girls I've seen, she's actually one of the most attractive in my opinion. Definitely has a cute side, but still plays into the sexy side with her appearance. And on top of that too, she does actually seem quite fun. Now, I also have to mention that this one thing truly stands out about just how much I really wanted her. My light grid did not even need her. It was strong enough to run off of Haggith, but I still miracle ticketed Monogamer from the 100% I don't miracle ticket. That just shows how much I really wanted this girl. Now then, the part that a lot of people are probably waiting for is the top 10 most favorite Kamihime, and number 10 on that list happens to be Mammon. Now, I like a lot about her. Despite her personality is a little bit on the bad side because of greed and such, but holy crap does she have an appearance, and if I had to pick one that's got the best appearance, it's definitely her fire version. Red goes so well with her. Plus, I've said before earlier in the video, pink hair, I'm really starting to enjoy it. Guess what she has. But even then, she still seems like the fun type of character as well, and honestly, that might seem a little bit delinquentish, but that's scoring quite a few points for me, so yeah, easily my 10th most favorite. And number 9 for most favorite Kamihime happens to go to Daki. Now, her personality honestly is crap, although she still does have the fun 40 side about her. But you should have paid attention to the Mana part of this video. Fox girls rate very high with me. I cannot deny that appearance. That appearance is easily one of the hottest characters in the game, if not the hottest in my opinion. The personality is what holds her down. If it wasn't for that personality, she may have taken my most favorite character spot, period. Unfortunately, that's what holds her back, and compared to some of the other Fox girls I've seen in other games, she wouldn't really compare. But again, that appearance is just amazing. And I heard she's going to be getting an awakening pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that, but it's going to be like a year later for the global versions, unfortunately. Number 8 on my most favorite Kamihime list happens to be Bastet. I really wish I had her SSR version, I really do, because I found it to be even cuter. But that's the main reason why she's scoring so high. Personality-wise, looks-wise, major cuteness factor. I really like that. Honestly, that's a major reason why she actually rated higher than Daki, because of the cuteness factor. Good girls tend to win out a little bit more than bad girls. Believe me when I say that. Now, as far as it goes with her specifically, she honestly might play a little bit into the lolly side, but I don't believe that's 100% true, but it's kind of hard to tell depending on the characters. But then again, if the cuteness is still attractive enough, in my opinion, then it still works. And this is one of those cases where I think it definitely does work. And of course, cat ears, animal girl, I don't need to say much more about that. Number 7 on the favorite Kamihime list happens to be Michael. Now, personality-wise, she's quite good. Looks-wise, she's incredibly hot. And despite the fact that she honestly cannot cook for crap, and I wish people would tell her that, I still really, really like her. Keep her out of the kitchen and she's fine. That's what I have to say about that. But even more so in some of her scenes too, she's got a little bit of a hidden naughty side, and I like that about her. That's scoring even more points in my opinion, and that really just, it kind of draws something out of me. I just don't want to say what. But yeah, she's scoring quite a few points because of that. And I also have to point out, one of the rare cases you see a character Ahegao in this game. It actually looks pretty good for once. Number 6 on my most favorite Kamihime list, it's going to Amman. Now, I honestly like all the different versions she's had, but Fire is the one that stands out the most. Maids are just so good. I'm sorry, but that seems like a fetish of mine. So, yeah, that might seem a little bit biased, but even then, looks-wise, she's definitely got it. Personality-wise, again, so very good. She would honestly seem like another case of devoted waifu. So, yeah, what's there not to like, really? She's got a little bit of a serious side, but that's the only thing that may turn people away, if anything. Honestly, I really, really enjoy her. And there isn't too much more to be said about that. Easily one of the best main characters I've seen in games, period, if you ask me. There's very few main characters that's actually done better than her, at least in my opinion. Now, we're getting into the top 5, and the 5th spot happens to go into Sevarog. Now, I've mentioned the twin tail fetish before. I've mentioned the redhead fetish before. I mentioned that I like girls with a good personality. Combine all that. Yeah, enough said. Now, she is a little bit obsessed with her axe, trying to get it more and more powerful, but quite frankly, she did have quite a cute side in her scenes as well, which also scores extra points. So yeah, combine cuteness, a lot of sex appeal if you want to be honest. Then on top of that, I like redheads, I like twin tails. That's combining a lot of stuff, and it's scoring so many points for me. On top of that, I mentioned the Ahegao thing for Michael a little bit, and this is yet another character that's done it pretty well, at least in her awakened scene. And between the two versions, I honestly like her fire one more. Again, red seems to go much better with pink hair or red hair, in my opinion. Number 4 on my most favorite happens to be Nikei. Now, thing with her is that her personality is honestly quite amazing. She really has got that sweet, nurturing, supportive type of side with her. Appearance-wise, is still quite amazing, you have to admit. In fact, very few characters even have a larger cup size than her. I have to point that out. On top of that, honestly, I kind of like how she looks with the shorter hair and all that too. It's an interesting take on it. Not too many short hair characters actually get my appeal for this, so yeah, I have to point that out. Plus, she tends to lean more on the elegant type of designs, except for her light version, but I do like her Unleashed version a lot more than the others. And let's be honest, she would make an amazing hug pillow. Just fall asleep with her. Now then, taking the first of the top 3 spots, and third happens to be the Onset. Now, I think Animaniacs said it best when they mentioned that one line so many times, "Hello, nurse." Yeah, she definitely fits that role quite a lot. First off, personality-wise, definitely would fit the whole Angel in White theme, even though not many nurses wear white anymore. She's got twin tails, again, big fetish of mine. Her body is amazing, I can't deny that. She's got a sweet, fun type of sad about her, too. There is a lot to like about her. Honestly, I think there's only one nurse character that has ever surpassed her, in my opinion, in any game. And it happens to be the one from Hyperdimension Neptunia, go figure. But outside of that, I think the Onset makes the best nurse character, other than the one I've just mentioned. Now then, number 2 spot for most favorite Kamihime happens to go to Bao. Now in her case, holy crap do I find her hot. I really do. I miracle ticketed her Thunder SSR version. And I would have miracle ticketed her white one had I not pulled it. I really like this character. She is my 3rd most favorite character, period, in this game. That should say a lot. And there wasn't even too many dark-skinned girls on this entire list, but boy does she make up for it. She even has a bit of a sweeter side to her, but also a bit of a protective one too, so she would also fit the tomboy genre as well, and does it extremely well. My opinion, grade triple S tier waifu. Now then, finishing things off, save the best for last. You guys should have known she was coming. Raphael, most favorite character in the game. Combine a lot of stuff from previous characters and she has that. She seems to have an Ojo type of appeal, even though she's not really one. Cuteness, check. Appeal of her body, check. Very nice and sweet, check. A bit of a nurturing side too, check. She has so much going for her, and I really, really, really like her. One of my most favorite characters in gaming. It's that much. And quite frankly, there's very few characters that would even surpass her in my eyes. And even as bonus points too is the fact that while you could consider her personality to be a bit more on the childish side, it's not entirely. So it's up to you if you want to put her in Opal Wally status or not, but either way, I wouldn't care. If they made a Dakimaka of her, I would immediately buy it. I'm not kidding. Alright guys, so that ends it for this video. Bit more of a different format, and it was a little bit longer too, so quite a lot to go through. You'll see timestamps, of course, so expect those in the pinned comment. And like I said, this is all in my opinion. Everybody else has their own waifu picks and whatnot. It's expected in any type of game or genre or media. But anyways, that's all for this. More of this will come soon, and this was also quite a fun little video I did, so I probably would do maybe a few more based on it, just with different terms and stipulations. But that's all for now, guys. More will come soon, and take care.